What's going on, guys? My name's Spence,
And I'm Mitch.
and we're two brothers that really love King of the Hill. And today we are talking about the eighth episode, The Shins of Her Father. And this, of course, is the big episode introducing us to Hank's dad, Cotton Hill, one of the most outrageous and larger than life characters I could think of in just about any show.
Yeah, he probably rivals Peter Griffin.
I would not have made that connection at all. That's a very interesting connection to make. I think that for us here, we've seen a lot of flashes moving into this episode, officially introducing Cotton Hill. We've seen a little bit of flashes of how Hank was treated as a kid, and it wasn't exactly the best, but now we're going to get a real glimpse of what it's like.
Yeah, and it's a miracle how Hank grew up with such a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah, he definitely had some rough external pressures. And before we continue here, I just want to mention that there's a huge amount of animosity between Peggy and Cotton. We could see that Bobby internalizes Peggy's message that Cotton is the devil. He sends his invitation to hell. And then, of course, he fake dials with only 3 numbers.
Hi, Grandpa.
Bobby, if you're gonna fake dial, you gotta hit more than 3 numbers.
This
eating
woman here in the blue dress, she's the mystery neighbor, the mystery wife.
Oh, yeah, the mystery. Okay, here we go. We've got another secret character, the mystery neighbor who never appears after this and has one voice line.
She was in an earlier episode too.
Oh, was she?
She was in the one with when Colin and Min first move. She comments on not being able to keep down Peggy's Apple Brown Betty.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Just getting a little more glimpse into what Bobby leans on, particularly in his social circles, as he leads on his comedic ability. Make
Same.
sense?
I did the same growing up, for sure. I was the class clown always.
Yeah, I was the more bookish type. Didn't like to draw attention to myself too much. And then we finally have Cotton's entrance, and it just blows everybody out of the water. It's a pretty dashing way to make an entrance, is on a horse, I think.
Absolutely.
That's pretty styling.
For sure. Very Texan, too.
And it just shows that Cotton is a larger-than-life character. He likes to make an entrance. He likes to grab the attention of everybody and make sure everybody's looking at him. It also shows that he definitely cares about his grandson. That's a lot of work and a lot of effort to rent a horse, I would imagine, and bring it to your grandson's party.
I have no idea, but logistically, it seems like a bit of an ordeal.
We get Aditi, Hank's stepmommy, who is also the same age as Hank because they went to kindergarten together. He's able to sniff out that Khan is Laotian immediately.
Immediately.
He knows that he's not Japanese. They can't pull the wool over on Khan's eyes on that one.
Oh, for sure. He's killed enough of them.
Let's be real. If I got a shotgun at, what is Bobby? This is his 12th birthday, right? I would be
12th birthday.
ecstatic.
Oh, I know. What a dream come true.
Absolutely incredible. Even in Texas, that's a little bit over the line.
I think
Peggy
so.
has to take it away.
A loaded shotgun.
Now, for crying out loud! Oh, good Lord, Cotton. You gave him a loaded shotgun?
Well, you don't give a toy without batteries. Come and get your Tootsie Rolls.
Here we get the very first glimpse of Cotton Hill's antiquated views, let us say, where he chastises Bobby for learning and knowing how to do the dishes. That's pretty sad because personally, I think that's just part of being independent, right?
I pride myself doing stuff like that and being a good husband, too.
Yeah, there's that, but, and it's also just, this is good stuff to know these days.
Yeah.
Under any circumstances. Luann's kind of able to see through Cotton's scheme here very quickly that he removes a part. I'm not sure what car part it is. Do you remember? So the solenoid plunger. And she's able to just realize it's not a common thing for that to just disappear.
They break, but they don't uninstall themselves.
Yeah, but of course Cotton dismisses her because that's not her area of expertise.
You'll never know if you're attractive until a man tells you you're attractive.
Unless you're a lesbian and not into men. He's right in that
There's
sense,
a nugget
right?
of truth to that, isn't
There's
there?
a kind of nugget of truth. But I really do admire Luann for standing up to Cotton right there.
Yeah, that's
And
probably
not
not
letting him-
easy to do.
Not letting his bullshit fly. Instead of taking Bobby to school, Cotton takes him to the bar, quote unquote. And this is something I don't think our dad is gonna do with my son. I don't think he's gonna maybe one day he might secretly take him out of school to do something, but I don't think it would be anything like this.
No, it would not. It would be something a lot better.
Yeah, what I would think is probably because my son is obsessed with cars for some reason. His first word was car.
What?
So,
Wow.
yeah, his first word was car, and I think that he and dad are gonna bond over that, so I can see them going to some car show in the future or something like that.
And they can bond over dad getting me to do all the hard stuff.
Yeah, he's able to talk you into working for him, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. I like it, though, secretly.
I think that a lot of people in the King of the Hill community would agree with us on this, and I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts. Is that I think it's definitely 100 that Hank and Cotton had an abusive relationship, that he had an abusive childhood, and like Mitch said at the start of the episode, it's a wonder he wasn't messed up any more than he is. But I don't know. I do think that bringing your kid to get a hooker, probably not father of the year material. I think we can all agree there.
No, and if it's a kid who's actually into the hooker, it's probably only going to worsen the situation.
That's a great point. Yeah, if they're excited, then you have even more trouble.
Yeah, handing them an addiction. Woohoo! Thanks.
Of course, Peggy unearths the truth that Cotton staged the whole thing, and he just wanted to spend time with probably Bobby more so than Hank necessarily.
Yeah, having a grandson's got to be pretty sweet, though.
It's hard to drag our dad up here, but maybe it'll get easier once he gets a little bit older. And I guess it'd be a good time to contrast Cotton with our grandfather. And we don't really have any analog to Cotton in our life. And I would love to hear from you guys if you have someone in your life that's like Cotton. But even though our grandfather was a greatest generation individual, fought in World War II, but he fought for the British side, he had much more of that British stiff upper lip kind of mentality. He was always just keeping to himself.
I didn't get to know my grandfather very much. He was well into his 80s when I was born.
Yeah, he was always enigmatic, that's for sure. And I always got the feeling like he and dad didn't have the closest relationship either.
I think so. Yeah, he was a late one. Our father was.
Yeah, exactly. Dad was the youngest of 5. I think Grandpa was tired of having kids at that point. So Cotton lays down the law, basically, not the law, he's just saying, I want to stay for a couple more days. And Hank basically caves to him and says that's okay. And Peggy is extremely upset about this. I don't think actually now that I think about it, I don't think there's a single time in the entire series where Cotton refers to Peggy by her actual name. I think he always refers to her as Hank's wife.
Yeah. Every time I see Cotton, though, it's a little bit bittersweet for me because I really do enjoy Cotton's character, and I was lucky enough to get to know the greatest generation, but unfortunately, there's just a whisper of them left today.
We're about to hear about Cotton Hill's escapades in the Second World War.
Yeah, I absolutely love this.
I made it to an island, but it was full of Tojos. They were spitting on the U.S. flag, so I rushed them. But it was a trap. They opened fire and blew my shins off. Last thing I remember, I beat them all to death with a big piece of batty. I woke up in a field hospital, and they were sewing my feet to my knees.
But man, I can't imagine though having to have someone in my life that it would be tough to ever criticize them or bring anything bad or say anything bad about them because they're,
Or to rise up yourself.
yeah, exactly. You'll always be in their shadow. But now we see the kind of rotten influence of Cotton's behavior. Bobby ends up starting a riot in school saying that, what is the woman's work that he doesn't want to do?
Bussing trays.
Saying that he doesn't want to bust trays because that's woman's work. And everybody freaks out. And I got to say that if I heard that my son did something like this, I would be livid.
Did you catch what the sign said? The Hotel Arlen is now hosting the Women's Lawyers Trial Association.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. I can't believe I just put those two and two together now. Cotton mistakes them all for prostitutes.
The absolute worst bunch of women on the planet that you could
Please.
prostitutes.
Cotton, and he will consistently make the appeal to his shins that because he's a war hero, he's immune from all criticism. And like we said before, man, that must just be a tough uphill battle. But good for Hank for taking the side of his wife and defending his son from obviously bad influence here and standing up to his dad.
He really does stick up to Cotton when it matters, because there is an episode later on where he sticks up for his mom.
I really do like the subtle play here at the end where he tells Bobby that women aren't on this earth to serve us, and then it zooms out and all the women are serving them.
That is still with us today, too.
I definitely agree, but now I feel like we're all kind of servers in our own way. It doesn't matter what profession we're in. We're a service economy, so no matter what you do, pretty much you're servicing somebody somewhere. But we've all become servers. There's my philosophical note to end this episode on. So what would you give this episode out of 10, Mitch?
I think it's just, for me, it's in the media. I think it's in the mediocre. A 6.5.
Wow, that bad, eh? I think it's a 7. I don't think it's a 6.5. I'll give it a slightly better. I'd give it a 7. But overall, it's a solid introduction to Cotton. And like all of the other character episodes, it builds a great foundation that stays for the rest of the show. But like you said, it's forgettable. I think that's its real downfall.
For sure. It doesn't have any classic Boomhauer quotes.
No real classic moments besides giving Bobby a shotgun.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, so let's wrap it up here. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take it easy.
Sweet.
Hank, you won the big game. So, I'm buying you and your friends hookers. Now go on, boy, pick yourself out of that one.
Hey there, Mr. Quarterback.